I'm new to this TED thing, so y'all have to give me some energy. Good afternoon. Okay. In Harlem, the business culture of healthy food. Harlem is a community known for its architecture, its political leaders, its history. Harlem also has food deserts. East Harlem is a community that has been identified as having food deserts. 1 in 6 of its residents has diabetes. But also in Harlem, even though the areas have not been designated as food deserts, it is difficult to find food during your lunch break within a 2 or 3 block walking area, or even when you go home sometimes you can't get it. So as someone who worked on the land use plans many years ago, also creating the first business improvement district in Harlem, as well as working with the rezoning of 125th Street, I've come to the conclusion of what is missing is a community accepted vision, one that the community buys into for healthy foods to drive the continuing rebuilding of Harlem. It is not enough to have a vision that bring in a supermarket here or farmer's market there, or even to give subsidies, tax incentives for people to bring in businesses as well as provide jobs. We need a comprehensive plan. Harlem is a community that have 3 distinct communities. West Harlem is a local neighborhood with an education orientation. The Central Harlem is our cultural core with the retail focus, and East Harlem is a local neighborhood focus. The people of Harlem is one of our assets. We have a lot of passion. Here you see people coming together to celebrate the victory of President Obama. We have iconic institutions, the Apollo Theater. We also express our culture. Artistic expression shows our politics, our education, our religious institutions, our music, and of course the tourists come to see and participate. So defining the problems with physical assets. If you have a friend who can take you in a car, you can go to Costco, or you have to use the public transportation. The offerings, some people say it's oversaturated with fast foods and bodegas. Financial barriers, we still have too many of our residents who make less than $15,000 a year. Lifestyle and mindset of the consumer and the supplier. Curtis Sherrod from the Hip Hop Culture Center reminded me, Barbara, you have to remember this is the food our ancestors ate, and they were very active. And so we're eating it because it tastes good. None of us can say fried chicken don't taste good. So it's hard to pass it every day and sometimes not break down and have it. We also have the mindset of the supplier. There were many supermarkets who felt that Harlem was not a great place to do business. It took years and years and years to convince them that there was a viable market there. The land use map in Harlem shows the residents in yellow. Look at all of the residential uses. And then take a look at the commercial uses in red. So these are the commercial uses that are trying to service this large residential base. What products are available, where are they available, and what price point? We just talked about the fast foods and the bodegas. We have few supermarkets that have come in. We have some farmers markets that are there but not enough, and they struggle to survive. We have green carts that have started to show up, and they also have their problems. You must be in the know to find a juice bar. But then what starts to happen is people are getting the message. So we get the Targets, the Costco's, the Pathmark, we get the Best Jets and the Fairway. And now La Marqueta just reopened February 2nd, which is a great need in the community. It was there before, it's been struggling. It is a market that brings fresh foods on the Metro North train station. And then there's 125th Street, our major commercial strip, the area that I work with every day. We like to promote 125th Street as a great street. The American Planning Association recently named it one of the 10 best streets in the United States because it was able to achieve a mixture of big box and small businesses. But guess what? There's not a lot of healthy food on 125th Street, and people talk about it every day. Some say that transportation is a problem. We have the transportation. Every subway train in New York, in Manhattan, crosses 125th Street. All of the buses cross 125th Street. We even have buses taking you to the airport, and we have the Metro North. We have 3,500 people within 1 hour on one side of the street walking up and down 125th Street just on one block. But then when you look at the retail mix of what we have, for eating and drinking establishment almost across the board in East Harlem, West Harlem, and Central Harlem, there's basically 10 to 15% offerings. If you look at the food and beverage establishments, 16 to 22% in West Harlem and East Harlem, and only 3% in Central Harlem. And this is 125th Street, so this is the commercial strip, only 3%. Back in 2008, we did a retail market study to determine what type of businesses the community wanted to see on 125th Street. Out of 300 respondents, to my surprise, and I never paid attention to it until I had to do this speech, that there was not one health food request. And if you go back and you do another survey and it's about food, you will get a lot of responses. The consciousness of healthy food is too far down on the bottom of the list when it comes to identifying the needs in the community. Looking at the income, of course, we're getting some affordable housing that's coming into the area, so we're able to maintain some of the population. But if you look at that category again, less than 15,000, in 2005 compared to 2010, the numbers are still too high. We are getting growth in the income level of over 100,000, and that's a great thing because it also helps to push the demand for healthy food because we're getting more of a market that can sustain some of these establishments when they come in. What is being done to address the problem? There are a lot of educational tools. The hospitals are starting to do it. The schools are starting to do it. Our community-based organizations are starting to educate people about healthy eating. We have government programs that are providing more funding. We have new entrepreneurship. I just read about new people who moved into Harlem who are starting a business for food delivery from healthy restaurants from other areas. Restaurant initiatives, for those of you who ever have a chance to go down 8th Avenue, it is a really booming community, Frederick Douglass Boulevard, with lots of residents, lots of new restaurants, health food restaurants coming through. And we have major development. I just want to point out to you some of the innovative things that are being done with education. There's this thing called edutainment, and this is the Hip Hop Culture Center using rap to heighten the awareness of healthy eating. Green cards. Karen Karp is in the audience. Karen has received funding from the mayor's office to bring green carts into Manhattan and into neighborhoods that don't have access to healthy foods. And we do have them at subways as well as on the 125th Street and 116th Street. Of course, she has problems also with language barriers and getting food to the residents. And now our Manhattan Borough President Scott Stringer recently announced that we're getting veggie vans, refrigerated veggie vans, to take food to people who are at senior citizens and the housing projects. And now our new supermarkets. On the west side, Fairway, that was an area that didn't have any supermarkets over there. And so it brought a lot of people. Pathmark was the first. And when Pathmark came in, people thought it wouldn't work. And now in Central Harlem, we have Best Yet. And of course, new development bring the big guys. We have Target and we have Costco. So we now have these offerings with the East River Plaza. And our new addition is the Red Rooster with famous chef Marcus Samuelson, who brings healthy soul food to Harlem. So let's look at what we can do about this. I'm saying that we need to go back to this community-based vision to get the study to look at analyzing what we have, what the gaps are, what we need to do next. Some people think food shades are the answer. We don't know exactly what it is, but we need to figure out what is needed. And I think that the Harlem community has gone through many exercises to where we can do it. The last thing is, healthy food needs to now walk hand in hand with affordable housing, creating a cultural destination, and small businesses. Thank you very much.